Hey, welcome back to Blanchy Talks Watches. Today we're going to be doing a full review of the Mitch Maelstrom, which is a tone twister. On the wrist, I've got the Mitchell timepieces Seco-graph. If you follow the channel, you will have seen my review, which went up recently, of this. If not, check out a link in the description below. Okay, so the Mitch Maelstrom. This is a stunning watch. I've wanted a super compressor style watch with the two crowns in my collection for years. My grail watch is the Longines Legend Diver, which is this style with the internal bezel, and I've just been fascinated by it for years and years. And there was a few options out there last year on Kickstarter, and this one I felt was the best for me. So I decided to jump on this one. I actually bought this through Wrist Check Monthly, who have unfortunately shut down in the meantime, but I believe they're going to be coming back the site just as a review site and not selling anything. So as I mentioned, this watch was on Kickstarter, and it is another great example of a successful Kickstarter campaign. Ben, the owner, is a fantastic guy, super nice, super friendly, and yeah, great to see campaign going so well. So first off, we will look at the dial. The sunburst on the dial is absolutely beautiful, and the high gloss on the, it's not even a high gloss, it's a high reflection of the internal bezel, because the internal bezel itself is a brushed finish, but it does have that gloss to kind of pick it up as well. I love the combination of the cream and the green. I think it works very well together. There's a load of colour options for this. I'll throw some pictures up on screen now so you can see them, including a wine option, which was only available through the Micro Brand Watches Facebook group. I actually had quite a difficult time choosing the colour that I wanted because there's so many nice ones, and it was actually Ben, the owner, who helped me decide. Yeah, some people will laugh at that because of course I went for the green, because I always go for green, but I did nearly choose the blue until Ben made me realise I actually have loads of blue watches and not enough green watches, surprisingly. So yeah, I went for the green and I'm very happy with it. I was really going back and forth on that for a long time, even after I finally picked right down to the wire. I was like, am I picking the right one? Do I want the blue? Do I want the green? The grey looked stunning as well. They all looked stunning, but I think I would have been happy with any colour I got. But yeah, look, I am very happy I went for the green. This is my own personal watch, so I paid for this myself, don't need to send it back, and I get to keep it. Okay, so the dial then, it said the sunburst effect. It is a sandwich dial, which means there is multiple layers to it. You can see the 12, the 9 and the 3 are indented. So what that means, it's an actual cut out of the top layer of the dial with a sub layer beneath it filled in with Lume. You've got a date at the 6 o'clock position. I do like it because it's quite small. I'm not a big fan of dates on watches, so it's just enough. At a distance you can't see it, but when you're up close and you need your date, you can see it. There is good reason to have date. I know, as people keep telling me they need it for signing contracts or whatever. I don't really need a date. I use it the odd time. If my watch doesn't have it, I check my phone or my computer or my laptop or my tablet or any of the hundreds of devices that are always around me at all times, because I don't rely on my watch for the date. But look, if it's there, I'll use it. I'll cut that rant there. Okay, so you might be wondering to yourself, why is there two crowns? So the bottom crown, with the nice Mitch Mason engraving, is your standard crown. So you pull it out, it hacks, you change the date, change the time. The top crown, which is also engraved, if you untwist it counterclockwise, unlock it, the internal bezel can then rotate. So you can use this as a timing bezel. It is bi-directional, but the advantage is because it's behind a screw down crown, means it's not going to get accidentally moved, so you can set it to whatever you want, push it down and lock it in place. There you go. So one thing I do find about this is because it's free moving, you can set it anywhere. So you can, it doesn't have to be exactly on the minute, it can be slightly past or whatever. That is a bit of a plus and a minus, because I find sometimes when I'm trying to line up a 12, I'm like, where is the middle exactly? So what I do is I just gauge it between, see the 5 and the 55. I'll get that lined up perfectly. Line it perfectly and then lock it in. So these gloves are doing me no favours. No, that's not. So as I said, it can be slightly difficult to get it perfect. But once it is perfect, it stays perfect. And that's a big thing as well. You don't need to worry about the bezel alignment being off, because if it's off, it's your fault and you can just change it very, very simply. Yeah, so the bracelet then, it's a H-link bracelet with a huge amount of articulation. And that means it is super comfortable. Clasp then, plenty of micro adjusts. Mitch Mason buckle on the lock. Nice milled clasp as you'd expect at this price point. Speaking of, I believe the full price for this is around the $600 mark. That's not what I paid because I got it the Kickstarter price, but that's where it is currently. One of my favourite features of this watch is the absolutely stunning caseback. It's a really, really deeply stamped image of a whale. You can see there it says Mitch Mason, Maelstrom, the whale and the waves. Like, look at that. Probably my favourite caseback in my collection, I'd say, because it's just absolutely stunning. Now around the outside of the caseback you've got automatic, what else does it say, stainless steel, 30 bar, I didn't even mention it's 300 meters water resistance, and sapphire crystal. The case and bracelet are 316L stainless steel. The movement then inside this is a Miyota 9015 high beat automatic movement. Very nice movement. Used quite a lot in micro brands that want to take that step up from the Seco NH series. Seen it loads of times in different watches, and it is a really, really solid movement. So while there is reflections on the dial, there is actually Super AR on the underside of the dial. Still get some reflections on it, but I'm sure it'd be significantly worse without that. So we'll take some measurements before we throw it on the wrist. My calipers out. So this is coming in at 40 millimeters, and the lug to lug is 47. So at 40 millimeters, it's slightly small for me. I prefer 42, but it does wear quite nicely. And with the 2 crowns, though, it gives it an extra little bit. Thickness 12.5, 13 nearly. So it's a nice thickness. The crown size is 6.5. And the lug width is 20. So one thing, or another thing I really like on this is they actually have quick release double-ended spring bars on the bracelet, but not only that, they have push holes I am a huge fan of having drilled lugs. Just makes strap changes so much easier. All you have to do is, you don't even need a good spring bar tool like this Bergen. Any of them will do. Even a paper clip, you just pop it through, push, and pop your bracelet out. Super easy. And I do find myself, at least back before working from home was the norm, I did wear watches with things like that a bit more, so I could change my strap or adjust them as needed, whatever, when I was in the office on the fly with a paperclip. Something that most people would never think about, but look, if you're obsessed with watches like myself and many collectors, it is something you think about. Okay, so with that said, we'll try it on the wrist. So my wrist is 7¼ inches, and as I mentioned, I would feel the 40mm would be slightly smaller for me. I prefer 42, but as you can see there, it is quite nice. It's definitely a trend towards smaller watches, so some people will probably even say this is too big, but look, they're wrong. Nice side profile, if I can get focus. I like the way the lugs curve down, kind of hug the wrist. The articulation on the bracelet is just brilliant. It's so comfortable. You can hear there very little noise. Slight rock out of the clasp when you're hitting it, but not when you shake it, which is a plus. Most of them are going to make some noise when you tap them like that. Look, it's not a normal test. It's something I do because sometimes they don't, and then they're even better. But look, I don't hold it against any brands. The fit and finish on this is beautiful. Look at how well that bracelet fits. It's just perfect. I like the H-Link bracelet. I never actually had a H-Link until recently, and then I got a few in for review around the same time. And yeah, the extra articulation from it just does make it very comfortable. The clasp is quite large in terms of the length, but I think it sits nicely. If you have it sized up right, it sits nicely in the middle of the wrist. And I'd absolutely take the length to get that level of micro adjusts. I think that's so important. I just think 3 micro adjusts isn't enough. I want my micro adjusts to be longer than a full link, so I can change up and down as needed. And I've done it many times with a paperclip in the office or when I'm away somewhere. If you're out for the day in the heat and you go back into an air conditioned room, look, you swell up and go down, or at least I do anyway, so it is handy to be able to adjust on the fly. Okay, so we'll have a look at the Lume now. So this has been in a dark room, apart from being under these lights filming the review, so it mightn't be the brightest, but no, it's coming up okay there. You can see it. It's a little bit brighter in person than it's shown up there. The Lume is quite good in this, so what I'll do is I'll give it a quick blast of my UV torch. I love this torch because I love Lume, and it just makes it absolutely glow. There you go, you can see how quick that was. Quite good Lume. But yeah, it is incredibly crisp Lume. You can see the details on the hands. The hands are very nice with the pattern on the hour hand. And even the date is loomed, which I think is a really nice touch. You can see how crisp that Lume is. I said it before, but look at it, it's just perfection. It's a really well made piece. You can see the slope on the bezel insert when I get at that angle. So this Lume stays crisp all night long as well. You can absolutely read it at any time during the night. It'll stay, it won't stay this bright obviously, but it will stay legible for the entire night, as long as it's had any bit of a charge during the day beforehand. So yeah, dive watch, you need good Lume, and this absolutely does have it. Really well done Lume as well. You can see how consistent it is. There's no patches, there's no blotches, and the Lume date is a really nice touch, especially being so small. Just another little bit of visual interest there. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I really like this watch. I bought it for my own collection, so I'd want to like it. It wasn't an easy decision as well. This wasn't the cheapest watch, but it is a very good addition to any collection. I believe there's still models available, so I'll put a link in the description to Mitch Mason. They do have some other fantastic watches as well. I've seen previously at the Facebook group as well, if you want to have a look there. But yeah, overall, very, very happy with this watch. I think the fit and finish is above the level you'd expect with the cost. I can't fault it at all. In terms of fit and finish and quality, it came with a waffle strap as well and a leather watch roll. If you watch the unboxing video, you'll see them too. Yeah, if I could change anything, I'd probably make it a millimeter or two bigger, but that would probably put a lot of people off too, so it is striking a balance. But yeah, it's not losing any wrist time being 40 versus 42 for me. So yeah, look, it's all positives. I have no negatives for this one. It's a beautiful watch. The different colours are stunning as well. So nice, in fact, that I could see myself having more than one of these in my collection because they are that nice. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I've been covering a lot of micro brands in my videos, so is it something you want to keep seeing more of? I've got some good links with different micro brands, and I'm hoping to keep doing micro brand reviews because they're just a lot less common than some of the other watches that are out there. So yeah, let me know, and please do like, comment and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And look, if you like the video, what about even sharing it with your friends or other watch nerds, and get some more people on the channel. We've got a great number of subscribers now, and I'm really hoping that I can hit the 1,000 subs this year. A long way off, we're not a huge amount of time left to do it, so it's not looking likely, but I'm going to keep pushing and hopefully put out some more great content for you guys. So look, thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.